This is lesson 116, unit multipliers. Again, just like scientific notation, this is something that you are going to see in higher level math and in higher level science as well. Now, what is a unit multiplier? A unit multiplier is just a fraction that equals 1 written with two different units of measure. Okay, I'm going to give you two examples, 1 foot and 12 inches. Because 1 foot equals 12 inches, then we can write this in a fraction that equals 1. 1 foot over 12 inches equals 1 because they're the same. 12 inches over 1 foot also equals 1. So these are two different unit multipliers that we can use with feet and inches. We can use these to convert units from one, this one is inches, into another, okay, feet. So if we have 60 inches of, let's say, ribbon, we want to know how many feet that is, we can use a unit multiplier. Now, we're going to use the unit multiplier where inches are on the bottom and feet are on the top in the numerator, and inches are in the denominator. Because watch what happens when I do that. So I have 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, okay? Now, if I put this over 1, I have inches in the numerator here and inches in the denominator here. These can cancel each other out, and so I'm just left with my unit of feet. Now I can just take the 60 here in the numerator here and divide it by the 12 in the denominator here. If you know your math facts, you know that 12 times 5 is equal to 60. So I'm left with 5 feet. So in other words, 60 inches is exactly the same thing as 5 feet. Now let's look at example 1. Example 1A says write two unit multipliers using these equivalent measures. 3 feet equals 1 yard. Okay, so remember that a unit multiplier is a fraction equal to 1 with two different units in the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so if I put feet here and I put yards here, I have two different units in the denominator and in the numerator, and they have to be equal. Well, 3 feet is equal to 1 yard, and so this unit multiplier is equal to 1. Well, I could switch those and put 1 yard over 3 feet, and that would also be equal to 1. So I have two unit multipliers equal to 1 using 3 feet and 1 yard. Now B says, which unit multiplier would you use to convert 30 yards into feet? So what I have then is 30 yards. I'm going to turn it into a fraction and put it over 1. And I want to multiply this so that yards is canceled out. Okay, so the yards here and the yards here will cancel each other out. So this is the unit multiplier that I'm going to use right here. So I'm going to take 30 times 3, which is 90 feet is what I'm left with because my yards cancel out over 1. So that's my answer. 30 yards is equal to 90 feet. All right, example 2. Convert 30 feet to yards using a unit multiplier. And now it tells us, again, 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm going to take this 30 feet, I'm going to turn it into a fraction, and I'm just multiplying it by 1. That's what a unit multiplier is. I'm just multiplying it by 1. So the same thing should be, the numerator and the denominator should be equivalent, right? But this time I want feet on the bottom, and I want yards on the top. And I just fill in what makes those two equivalent. Okay, and again, these units can actually cancel out, and I can divide each of these by 3. So I end up getting 10 yards, okay? So this makes 30 feet is exactly the same as 10 yards. All right, that's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and God bless.